And welcome back to episode 6 of Trans Boy Live.
Me, Joe.
And if you guys haven't heard already, we will be at Compalooza this year in, was it, a week or two?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, something about that. My time frame is off, guys. Everything's everything's happening right now. Uh, all good, all good. It's just like, whew, I can't keep track of time no more. But anyways, yes, we will be there. We will be doing a top 10 comic book movies where you guys are involved. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some fun. We'll be on Saturday from 12 at the Pavilion. But yes, so as we talk about movies, we're talking about another movie. This came out last week, and we enjoyed the movie so much we wanted to talk about it, and we wanted to make sure we go spoiler free on this bad boy. And yeah, so we're talking about Predator: Killers of Killers, an animated film that involves the Predator, and something that I feel like should have been done a long time ago.
Yeah, it feels like we are getting a bit of Predator media resurgence, right? Like, I mean, wasn't it last year we had the movie Prey?
A year or two. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was, I think...
I'm looking it up right now. Go for it.
It was, basically sort of, I guess... Yeah, it was part of the Predator franchise, except it took place in, like, revolutionary America. You follow this Native American woman having to fight off a Predator, which, I mean, honestly, that's one of those... I think when it comes to, like, a lot of the Predator, like, movie sequels and stuff like that, it was always sort of, like, interesting of, like, it wasn't a whole lot of them, but you could always feel like you could maybe... It was, like, probably one of those first ones where you thought about, like, what if we just put the Predator in a different time period, not in the modern day? How would people back then have to deal with the technologically advanced alien game hunter? And it's like, oh, that actually is super interesting to have this Predator in revolutionary America having to deal with that,
Yeah, no, that's when it really popped off, because the one before that was The Predator, and I think that's one considered by many to be the worst Predator movie.
Yeah, it was directed by Shane Black, right?
Yeah.
I think, what is it?
I haven't seen it because I kept hearing bad stuff about it, and I like The Predator, so I was like, alright, I'll watch this.
There's a part of me that feels like it just, I mean, I didn't see it, but I feel like from what I've seen of it, like maybe it was just a bit too, like self-referential, kind of,
maybe. Was that the one with, Kiyo Mecha Kiyo?
Yeah, he was in a character in there, yeah.
Right! Yeah. There was that one joke that would, like, just, like, maybe put me off. That's right. Ugh, the rated E for everyone, like, that was just like, that was ad-libbed. That was ad-libbed. He's funnier than that, and they decided to go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, this is his first animated movie, which, like you said, it feels like it's a bit of a long time coming, because you feel like the Predator could work in that sort of scenario, right?
Not just that, but just like the situation that he's being put in. So we've seen that him and the Predator, the creature itself, I forget the name of the alien species, but like they're known as big game hunters. They tend to come to Earth and hunt, right?
Yeah, they're very, this is like interesting, like warrior, like based society of, like, they want to hunt things that can kill them and stuff like that, right? Like, that's sort of like their thing.
It's the great hunt, as they say.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's that, but it's also like, if he's been around for years, because we've had the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and Predator 2 with I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head. If since we have those, since like they're on Earth but at different time frames, what if like he came in and fought, say, a pirate or a Viking or
a samurai,
which is like kind of done in Predators, the third movie.
Yeah, but that was more, again, that was still in the modern era.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, like.
Yeah, because he was a yakuza at that time.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that one, they took like a bunch of, like, just basically criminals, if I recall correctly, right?
Yes.
A lot of them were criminals, like you said, like a yakuza, I think, like a gang member,
Danny Glover, that was the actor's name. I just look it up.
Yeah, and ex like soldiers and stuff like that. So that was sort of that was the angle, right? Like, they abducted them, put them on like a separate planet, and had the Predators hunt them and stuff. think Lawrence Fishburne was in that movie, right?
Yes, he was. He was like one of the longest surviving ones in that planet.
Yeah.
And they also kind of established that they're like a different like group.
They're different groups of predators, right?
Yeah, they each have their own distinction of what the hunt means, which I like. I find that very interesting. Like, it's not just one singular thing. It's like they each have their own opinion of how the hunt should be, and I don't want to say the ones that we meet in this one are that or of a similar ones that we're used to, but they all do have their kind of their own little thing, right?
Yeah.
But essentially, this movie is technically, I would say, an anthology. It's three different stories that this is a spoiler, by the way, where they all come together towards the end. And they're all told from three different people.
From 3 different time periods.
Exactly. They all have their own little title card. We have the shield, the sword, and the bullet. And the first story starts with a Viking woman, Ursa, and her hunting this man who made her kill her. Well, I wouldn't say he made her kill. Her father made her kill her.
Yeah, it's a whole Viking thing, but basically she's out for revenge, right? Vengeance, against this man. She brings her son along with. It's like, you will be a Viking like me, something like that, right?
You will face no fear.
Yeah, so you get to see that sort of thing, and obviously a predator gets involved at the end, right?
But just yeah, no, it's something that, like I said, I feel like people were always kind of wanting something like this. Just predator throughout the ages fighting different,
Yeah, different like groups of people or soldiers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
the deadliest warrior.
You know what? Yeah, that's basically what you.
It is.
Yeah, no.
Imagine, right? If they made a predator, like for me, I like this movie. Don't get me wrong. But part of me feels like I kind of wanted this to be a cool show of like predator versus a predator with his own little, weapons and fighting style versus whatever like warrior kind of thing, like
of the time. Yeah.
And I kind of got it with this, and I'm happy about it. I do kind of wish it was a TV show, but no, the way it's structured, I think it's fine. But no, Ursa is, she finds the guy, they kill him, but then they have to fight the predator.
Yeah.
And obviously they are outmatched.
Yeah, all these big like berserker guys just getting mowed down by this predator. Oh, yeah. They even call it a Grendel.
Yeah, they call it a Grendel.
Which is kind of one of those interesting things that I think adds like a bit of more extra layers to this sort of like the predator lore of like maybe different cultures have met predators before and this is what they call them.
Well, it was insinuated by the end of the Prey movie, if you recall. During the credit scene, where because they do the cave paint. Well, they do paintings.
Yeah.
I don't want to say cave paintings to make them sound. They do paintings, and in some of those, it's implied that they were visited by the predator aliens. Like they came back.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, obviously there's a whole sequence of it. And I will say this: the fights with the predators are all very interesting and unique.
Yeah.
In this movie, so like each one has its own separate, unique skills, different body types, heaps, and just
different just they're not stock predator.
Yeah.
Like you're not fighting the one you saw in the Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah.
You're fighting a different kind of predator. So something that's kind of, I feel like it was established in the Prey movie, because the Prey predator is not like how all the other predators. He's kind of a little different in his own way. And I do like how they keep that theme going.
Yeah. But ultimately, I want to just talk about how the short ends, or.
Yeah, no, so that's kind of indicative of like the situation that was going on. Well, she kind of somehow finds a way to win.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, because it's just so weird. I mean, I'm willing to believe that she beats him, right?
Yeah.
That I believe, because the whole point of the predator is that, it's a creature that relies so much on tech that not focusing too much on overpowering him, overgunning him, is what ultimately defeats him.
Yeah, it's more about smarting him than actually that sort of thing. I mean, not to spoil anything, but the third short of it does have like this moment where the characters realize, oh, we know how he's tracking us. We gotta you know, it's very indicative of like the original Predator with Schwarzenegger, right?
Mhm.
Of like putting on the mud to hide his
Yeah.
body temperature sort of thing. They do something similar, but in a very different context, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool,
Mhm.
right? So you know, that's always been sort of like the ace in the hole against predators is always like outthinking them rather than like outgunning them.
Yeah, because they are like just they can be so very like overly confident on their weaponry, but they always like the one specific aspect, and so that kind of they kind of don't do that with that one I feel, but I do like the idea of how she's able to at least somewhat level of outsmart him, because all I'm saying is those shields should not have survived all that impact.
Especially considering what his little like sonic boom weapon was doing to like other things. It's like, interesting, but all right. But it's at the same time, it's like it's a movie. Sometimes you just gonna
Mm.
have to accept that, like, you know, that some stuff like that's happening.
Yeah,
You know.
and then of course it ends with like her like looking like she's in a ship, and as it pans towards our next story, which is the sword. Japanese samurai,
Yeah, to these two brothers.
which I think everyone agrees that's kind of like the best part of the movie.
I mean, yeah, because it just it like don't get me wrong, like, it's just really freaking cool to see like what essentially just samurais versus predators because it's very clear that the predator like lifestyle and culture takes at least some inspiration from like Japanese bushido sort
Yeah,
of code.
yeah, because there's a lot. There's they even the the predators themselves have a sort of code of honor,
Hmm.
right? Like they like now it's dependent on which clan you go with it. To be honest.
Yeah, there are some that are just like assholes.
Yeah,
You know.
like that's kind of the whole thing with the predators, right? Because like you know, just capturing and letting like big you know, like you know, game hunting kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, some might not say like that's not actually hunting, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of stuff. It's kind of like the what are the not fox catchers? That's what they're called.
Fox catchers. Nah.
Where they release a fox just for like a group of guys to go hunting it.
Something like that. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's the exact term, but I think I know what you're talking
yeah,
about. It's
yeah, yeah.
I mean, there are like places in I think America where people will own like exotic animals, like antelope or something, on like a ranch, and people can pay to go hunt them, which is, I mean,
And it's huge.
I
Wow.
mean, you know, it's whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I really have no big opinion on that. Like, part of me feels like it's slightly better than going straight to like friggin' Africa and hunting and killing like a fucking lion or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. It just feels a little weird. But like at the same time though, it's like okay, they're making money off of it, and it's like not really an endangered species as far as I understand. I could be wrong. There probably are some weirdos that like straight up hunt like endangered like antelope or I mean I don't think
Yeah,
anybody's
yeah, yeah.
getting like an elephant to hunt. That'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah, it would be.
But you know that's the thing that happens.
Yeah, but the main point is that most of them have we know they tend to have a code of honor, like the not killing someone who is carrying a child, not the sick, and someone who is
Clearly unarmed, right?
clearly unarmed, because there's you know a sense of honor in that.
Yeah.
And what I think what about the samurai one, the sword, is so cool is that it's told with little to no dialogue.
Yeah, like there's maybe like the intro narration and then like a dialogue between the brothers at the end.
Mhm.
But besides that, yeah, it's all in the character acting, right?
Mhm.
Of just the face animation, the body language, all this stuff,
Which I
right?
feel like you can only do in animation.
I mean, you could probably pull it off a little bit in live action. Like I'm trying to think of like Mad Max, like Fury Road for a little
True,
bit.
true, true.
There are moments where it's just pure like no dialogue bit there, but you are right. That is something that pretty much happens like that really you can really get a lot more intimate and like imaginative with animation,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
So
But
yeah,
like that one like told a story in less than 10 minutes,
yeah,
and it worked
yeah. I mean,
because essentially it's about these two brothers who clearly have a very abusive father.
yeah, he's basically forcing them to like fight each other to like I guess inherit
dynasty or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm probably using the wrong word for that.
Yeah, because it's mainly like you clearly tell like this suit of armor is very important to the family, and he's pretty much just like you two must fight each other so that you must inherit not only this armor, but also I'm assuming pretty much my inherency, right? Like all the stuff I own, whatever.
And the clearly one brother is like more skilled than the other.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's just like, no, I don't want to fight you.
No, you're my brother. I love you.
Yeah, but the other one.
Because there's this whole sequence about them playing in the fields, in the trees.
Yeah.
And then like, once he's hurt, he's disowned. It's like you failed. You're weak.
Yeah.
You showed weakness. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Because it's not no more apparent to the moment where like he thinks he offed his brother, and then like he looks at a portrait of his dad, only for the predator to leap out, which is a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Because it's like very indicative of like how he views his father as kind of a monster. And yeah, no, that tells you everything. And then they both end up fighting the predator.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I will say it is kind of neat because the older brother tries to dons like a ninja outfit almost.
Yeah.
Right. And it's doesn't obviously with the predator it doesn't really work out, which is always kind of one of the interesting like yes you can track your body heat. There's no skipping that one. But yeah, it's obviously the end is pretty cool too, which is how they dispatch the predator. Right?
Because there's a moment you think of like, oh, they're gonna fight again.
Yeah, they're gonna settle the score, right? But no, they actually took out the predator instead.
In a very cool, almost very like samurai movie way.
Yeah, classic samurai movie.
Yeah. Well, and then it leads. Then we cut to the third story, The Bullet, starring a World War II fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's that's not a lot. I feel like that's a lot more interesting than like what could have been when he saw something like The Bullet, where he's probably out in like a war zone, whatever, getting shot up.
Yeah, and again, that's where like it probably is an interesting thing because we see a predator just taking out a squadron of like U.S. Fighter pilots in like a friggin' spaceship. Which honestly, I don't think we've ever seen any of the predators use like a spaceship in terms of their hunts and stuff.
That one was creative.
Yeah, like even like the weaponry was creative, like these tracking things. Like he just had like a bunch of like gimmick things that would just track and hit the plane. Some of them would like harpoon the plane and then pull out the engine along with the pilot. Some of these things were like a net, but then it's like heated like wires and stuff that just crush the plane and cut the people and like dice them up. It's like holy crap.
That's the thing. I feel like out of the three stories, I feel like this one maybe has like the most, at least comparing like main character. Because the main character he's a dreamer, ironically.
I God damn it. I mean, listen, I know why you say it like that, but yes, he is a Mexican American man who gets drafted into the war, and he pretty much is like, oh, I want to fly,
Yeah, I dream big.
Yeah, and he gets to like be a fighter pilot, although he's kind of on like the lower end, like he's just having to.
He's a mechanic.
Kind of, but he's like, no, I'm not a mechanic because I don't know I know how to fix things, but like he's not good at it.
Yeah.
It's very clearly that in his heart he wants to fly, right? And he does get to fly his little plane. I think they call the Bullet.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you said, like the whole sequence against the Predator in this one is just like really cool. It's really interesting. Just like the fact that he, like all the tactics he has to use just to take this thing down, pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, he's clearly out of the three that is like able to really outsmart the Predator.
Yeah, because with Ursa, like that one, it's sort of more like a bit of like outsmarting, but also a bit of luck too, in terms of like the environment. With the second one with the sword, it's just he had help with his brother to take out the Predator. And this one, he does get a bit of help, Torres.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's him having to use his his last name is Torres. It's John Torres, I think. He has to
Juan?
Yeah, here, listen, like his dad wanted to be different. Like
Gotcha.
he wanted to make sure his kid at least had a white name, you know. um, but yeah, like he's doing all these crazy like engineering stuff, like having to fix his plane on the fly too. Which I'm like, I'm surprised he didn't fucking fly out of that plane half the time. Like Jesus.
No, yeah, yeah, he. Some people might say he's like the least compelling character, but I feel like that one, I feel like it works out in the end actually.
Hmm.
Two, his ingenuity.
Yeah.
That's how he beats the predator.
Yeah, definitely.
He's able to think on his feet faster than probably the first two. And like he's able to figure out, oh, they're tracked by heat. That's what it is. Like he immediately gets it, and I love that for him.
Yeah, like straight up, like he figures it out. Lets like his commander know,
Hmm.
and they sort of like come up with a game plan, and it helps out. Like he even uses like some lessons from his dad, like when he was trying to fix his own car
Hmm.
thing at the end to help beat the predator, and it's like that's him remembering stuff, using applying that stuff. Like yeah, like I do agree. Torres probably out of the three protagonists we see in these shorts or vignettes, probably isn't that deep, but like his ability to think on the fly and use his ingenuity to help defeat like this overwhelming threat of the predator, especially in a alien spaceship that's just like doing all this crazy shit.
Yeah,
It's
because he's
like
not. If he was out of the ship, I think one, he might be a little more deadlier. Two, he wouldn't be able to figure out most of that stuff.
yeah, so it's just all sorts of like it's all
Mm.
it all feels satisfying by the end when he does win, right?
Yeah. Now, of course, that leads us to the final part where they all have to team up. They all have been captured by the predator and made to fight in a gladiatorial combat, and from there they must face the, I guess, the king.
Yeah, he's this like super big predator guy with like a bunch of like what I assume are just spines
Oh
of like
yeah.
whatever he's killed on his back, like a
Remember,
cape.
because the predators are known for pulling out the spine.
Yeah, and he's just sort of like they have these like collar bombs on them that's like translating at least his alien language to them. I don't think it really translated their own languages because Torres when he shows up he's like, "Hi, how you guys doing?" It's like, "Oh, I don't understand you, lady." "Oh, I think I know some Japanese. Watashi wo Torres do." And he's
He's
just sort
like,
of like, "You're a fucking idiot."
part of me wonders, did the Japanese language change in that much time?
I mean, that is a good question because the main character was definitely from like feudal Japan, but at the same time, yeah, because a lot of like languages do change over time a bit.
Yeah, it's like if a guy started speaking old English to you.
Yeah, not yeah, like straight up, like there's like different variations of Old English back from the Middle Ages. Like if someone were to get like teleported back to that time and try to speak English, they're just be like, what?
Who are you, Saxon?
Yeah, it's just like, what are you? Because today's modern English combines a bunch of different stuff of like old German stuff and like bits of the Romance languages now,
Mm.
right? It would be completely different to what people in the Middle Ages would be speaking.
Oh no,
So
yeah.
yeah, it does sort of make you wonder, like, okay, yeah, Torres learned Japanese because it's World War II. He would know a little bit of it in case he had to go fight in the Pacific Theater, just to know to communicate if they ever captured like some Japanese POWs or whatever.
That is horrifying to think of.
Yeah, a little bit. Or if he himself was captured by Japanese,
Yeah.
Japanese, which that would be not great for him either. But it's just a little funny bit of like, oh yeah, I think I know some Japanese. I think
But honestly, I think that's what makes him a little more interesting towards the end. He's the almost the communicator between the two.
yeah, because he's essentially sort of like he understands the guy a little bit. Because he's sort of like, let's not fight her thing, and he just jumps on her like, what? I just told you not to fight her. You said to fight her. It's like, idiot.
No. Yeah.
That's what I said.
But it's also like because he's the one that has the least trauma, he's able to at least like help them out in whatever way, with a little bit of like you know going through their issues.
Yeah, because I definitely agree. Out of the three of them, Torres, well, he definitely doesn't have as many issues as Ursa or the. Gosh, I don't even think we even got a name for the Japanese samurai guy.
They did mention his name, but I probably am gonna butcher it. I'm looking it up right now.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, it is sort of like this sort of predator king is like, you guys have killed predators before, and I want to see you guys kill each other. So that way, whoever was the last one standing gets to face me, become the killer of killers. It's the title of the movie, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, yeah, they do sort of work together, you know, um, and they do escape. Although with Ursa basically staying behind to like get them out.
So I'm assuming it is either. I'm assuming it's Kiyoshi Kamakami. Let me double check on that one. Kenji. That's the name of the guy.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, it does. I will say this: the ending is a bit open ended. Like it
Mm-hmm.
does allow for like a sequel if they wanted to, because with Torres and Kenji escaping, this Predator King kind of just goes, "All right, let's go hunting then."
I do like how towards the end, Kenji sort of talks to Torres as like he throws in the word ototo, which is I probably butchered that word, which is like significant of younger brother,
Yeah,
which is like very familial.
yeah. I was gonna say I think he like essentially got his respect by the end, right? Of,
Mm-hmm.
like this guy seems like an idiot, but like he knows where his heart's at the end of the day.
Yeah,
And it's like, all right, I respect you a little bit.
and then like Ursa calls them her boys, like
Hmm.
a sort of a surrogate son, because she did lose her kid.
Yeah, yeah. And that's her whole like angst and grief. Like she's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm willing to kill you guys because I need to go to Valhalla. I need to go see my son.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way. you know. But yeah, overall, what are your thoughts on the movie? Like,
So I'm actually more surprised at how much I enjoyed it. It's something I feel like again, like I feel like a lot of Predator fans. This is specifically those who probably haven't read the comics, because I'm pretty sure comics have done this before, where you finally got a chance to see the Predators do things outside of fighting 1-to-1 or some that kind of stuff. You get to see them throughout the ages, right?
yeah,
And that is fulfilled in this story. I think it's really cool that you have three different stories all told essentially together. These people coming together and trying to, and finding a way to beat the predators, not fully defeating them, but beating them.
hmm,
Because we don't know if they'll make it out. I hope they do. Though I'm wondering how Kenji's gonna react to like modern day Japan.
it would be certainly interesting to see how that all turns out. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it feels like it's very open to like if they want to do another sequel
mm,
or do another, like a sequel to it, right?
yeah.
And it's very clear like there is I guess a post credit scene kind of.
Yeah, it's implied that this group, or maybe just the entirety of the Predators, have done this before, because they have, I'm forgetting her name, but the main character from Prey. Because
Yeah, like they sort of just take these people that have beaten predators and cryogenically freeze them,
mm-hmm,
which I'm assuming is like because that's the thing they want to do. They want to have them pit against each other,
mm-hmm,
like fight and stuff. I think this is what this guy's angle is all about.
yeah, and it's funny because like they show off when Torres is fighting, they showed the flintlock pistol that was given to Donald Glover. Donald Glover. Oh my God, why am I forgetting this man's name?
Donald Glover.
Is it? Yeah, sounds about right. You know what it is? I'm thinking of that Childish Gambino.
Which is, I love that's like the second time you've mentioned Gambino in this podcast.
Is it?
You mentioned that like about I think 2 weeks ago or like I forget what we were talking about, but you mentioned Childish Gambino. I think we were making like a community reference or something.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Donnie Glover. Uh, yeah, because he once he beats a predator in his ship, in comes all these predators, and they give to him that flintlock pistol,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same one that was used that Torres used, and it's the same one that the main character from Prey grabs.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
so it's like a little
interesting.
connecting.
Yeah, so it's all connected,
Yeah,
all little threads and stuff.
little threads, baby. That's all we need. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see this as like a television short kind of stuff, like a little series, like 5 episodes maybe. Or come back every once in a while, make some new ones. But as we got, I can't deny, I did enjoy myself. I really was captivated by all the stuff. Some of the vignettes are stronger than the others, but they all come together very well, and I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed myself with it.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely agree. Um, it's a very nice surprise of a movie, right? And just how it works.
It's the first one of this year.
Right,
There's another Predators movie coming out.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think I say earlier, like it feels like we're about to enter like a bit of like Predator resurgence
Yeah.
because of like Prey, doing so well.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh yeah, we forget like Predator when done right is a very cool concept and
Well, I think the thing is, unlike Aliens, they don't try to mess too much with what is the Predator, right? It's not to say it's like dumbed down or anything,
mhm.
but the Predator is a very simple concept. Alien comes to hunt,
Yeah.
and you tend to beat it by outsmarting it
Yeah.
because it's over reliance on technology.
Mhm.
With the Alien, it is this cool, almost like unstoppable creature, right? It is the ultimate life form, as they said in the first movie,
Yeah.
right? Ultimate hunting thing. But they keep trying to overly complicate it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like a lot of the Alien movies past I think two maybe have all been well I guess two technically does too.
Well, yeah, that's when they introduced the Predator Queen, but that's just like there's the queen and then the eggs and then there's the aliens
Yeah,
itself.
like it's one of the, like that one's a bit simple. Yeah, let's say yeah, like there's like they keep adding like bits of lore after lore kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just explain what the hell the alien even is,
There's
right?
yeah, they try to give it like a more grandiose thing,
Mhm.
and it's just like I don't feel like we need that.
Yeah, because I think there is a part of you that just kind of goes, it feels a lot simpler when it was just a weird ass freaking alien, like
Yeah,
if the xenomorphs were just like a weird alien species that just does this shit. It's fucking crazy,
and it's like we don't need like a Dune level.
Explanation of like the engineers came and created this and that and all that stuff and
Pseudo Christian allegory or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Just what?
Not to say that that wouldn't be neat. It just
It just feels weird that it's connected to aliens, the xenomorphs, right?
all I can ask is, because I mean we are getting like another alien thing, Alien Earth, right?
Yeah, that one at least sounds like a cool concept. It's just like, what if the aliens took over the Earth?
Yeah. So and I won't lie. Do we? Is there a future where we get aliens versus predators?
Probably not.
Why not? Like,
Probably not.
I want the third one.
I don't want that.
I want the third
They
one.
were pretty bad.
Like, hey, listen, all right. The first one is all right.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest with ourselves. The first one's all right. Not
you,
perfect.
You knew what you were getting into.
You knew what you were getting into. Requiem. Okay, I can admit that one was definitely not good.
All I remember was kid got chest burster and pregnant lady got chest bursted. Well, baby bursted.
Which is definitely weird.
Also, it got nuked to hell.
Yeah, that whole town got nuked. Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, how do we do? Are we not? Wait, what? No, how do you get away with? No, you left me with more questions. Come back.
It's like, hold on a second. How the hell does this even relate? Like, it's one of those things where you're kind of just like, wait, because how does this relate to the timeline?
Not even that. It's just like, you can't just throw a nuke in middle America and not have stuff happen.
I don't know, man. That happened in Raccoon City, and I don't think anybody asks questions about Raccoon City anymore. I don't see it on the news anymore, man.
It's a fucking video game.
I know, that's my point.
Resident Evil 9.
They faked us out in the freaking Summer Games Fest. They were telling us, oh, it'll be out when it's out. Don't worry, we'll tell you when it's gonna be out. And then it's like, boom, gotcha at the end.
Like a true jump scare.
Bastards. But anyways,
I
Predator, Killer of Killers,
yeah.
good movie
Good
overall. I mean, how would you Like,
I would probably give it like a good 8 out of 10.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
It's a very solid 8 out of 10. I mean,
it's probably like the top 3 Predator movies. 4 for being no, top 3 probably. It's kind of hard to say because Predator 1's still pretty good. Predator
classic.
2, it has its issues, but it's not really that bad.
Hmm.
And then Predators is solid.
Yeah, like it's solid, but you could definitely work out some kinks there if
Yeah.
you needed to.
The Predator is considered the worst. I haven't seen it myself, but remembering that one joke that Keegan Michael Key said,
So you're probably just like, oh,
not for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Not saying he's the worst thing ever. I do like Keegan Michael Key. I do love Key and Peele. But there's some things that I'm like, oh man, you were made to do this. And then we have Prey, which is like, oh, we back, baby. We back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now we have this. It's like, oh, that was good. So it's kind of hard to say which is the best one right now.
Yeah. No,
But,
I agree.
yeah.
At the end, if anything, I just love that. I wonder if people will eventually start getting annoyed with how a lot of like non like Disney animation is starting to take the Spider Verse route of like
Oh no, I'm gonna be happy.
'cause I feel like there's probably gonna be somebody that's like, well, I don't like how choppy this looks. Or like, but no, like no, this looks clean.
It looks clean.
Yeah, yeah,
No, but like I mean, like if that's the conversation point, I would say I'm happy for it because it allows more animation studios not only just to breathe, but also more things to happen. Maybe get Disney off their asses and start making something really good.
like
That that isn't just the show levels. Because I like Owl House. I like towards the end, Star Forces versus the Force of Evil, and Gravity
Falls.
Gravity Falls. I would say Gravity House. That's not right.
No, that's the Loud House.
That's a no.
That's a Nick show.
We don't talk about that.
Why?
Later. But I will say it is fun to see that there is a resurgence for like Predator, and I think Alien's starting to get it. But it kind of needs to like fix itself real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, like they're doing great with it. Even the comics are doing pretty good with it. 'Cause, they're Marvel's got connections with Disney, so they can do Aliens and like Predator books.
Yeah, yeah.
So I haven't caught up on it, but I do remember reading Alien versus Avengers, and that one was pretty good. That one's pretty good.
You think we get that in Secret Wars?
No, probably not.
Why not?
No, that'd be stupid.
Oh.
Unless it's like its own little contained thing, maybe. It has to be like animated, in my opinion. There's also the Predator versus Wolverine. I think Spider-Man's on right now. This is a Predator versus Black Panther. I heard the Predator versus Spider-Man one's really good because it's like that sounds like a really cooler idea. To be honest.
I hear that they're making another Predator show.
Are they?
Yeah, To Catch a Predator.
God
with Chris
damn it.
Hansen.
I hate you.
It's very interesting. I don't know why they have Chris
Oh,
Hansen
God.
going
Oh, my
after the
God.
Predator there, but
All right.
Well, I think that's it.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. You okay?
All right,
All right.
we're done here.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. And if you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to follow us on social media: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Most active on Instagram. This was a link to all the podcasts that are officially part of like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, all they like, and a link to YouTube for all you other listeners there who want to put a face to the voice. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and a Patreon for any form of support. Go check it out. It's on Hulu. Wish it was on theaters, but it's whatever. It's been me, your boy Eli.
Be Joe.
You guys have a good one. Peace.